I'm going to cut this video up and let it run. So this was my trade on TRX that I posted, and I've made some not big, but I've made some errors that I can learn from, and hopefully you guys can learn from as well. So TA wasn't too bad. I was in this channel here. It's obviously respecting, respected the support, resistance, respected the resistance, double top, come back into the support, back up to the resistance. So it's been, bouncing around in that channel. It formed a symmetrical triangle, which breaks out either side. It's hit the resistance, missed my stop loss, and it was about to take off. But in the morning, I've checked this, and I've checked it against BTC, and BTC at the time had this huge freaking wick going down. I'll show you real quick, maybe on the chart here. Where was it? Maybe on the hourly. I think this dirty wick here. This big dirty bastard here. So I was like, oh, here we go. Bitcoin shit the bed, it's going down. So that's what I seen just before I went to work. So that was no good. So I seen that massive wick. I seen that the price was going down. I seen that it almost stopped me out prior to this. I was like, well, this time it's definitely going to smash me stop loss, and I was winning. Not very much, but I was winning. So I stopped the trade. I also had another trade like this set up in Seoul. So I stopped both trades, went to work, and I checked it while I was at work. And this is what's happened since then. It broke straight out of the triangle as I wanted it to. Now it's retested this 4-hourly resistance. Now it's become support. My first take profit was here on the daily resistance, what I've got set up. So what I should have done probably was set up my first take profit here and my second take profit somewhere around this channel, somewhere around my first take profit there. And I probably should have had my stop loss a little bit lower, like maybe here. So then I wouldn't even been worried about how close that was, because that's viciously close and you don't really want it to be that scary. Like I should have had it there behind this previous pivot, which would have reduced my risk to reward, but at least I would have won a trade and not had this 0.2 or a potential stop out. So that was a good little lesson for me. Hopefully it learns for you. One thing also I'd like to add is when I do these channels and I do support to resistance trades in the channel, I like to see at this point here, when it hits the channel, that the RSI is oversold down here, like say this point here. If that looked like that right there, it had wicks to the downside showing exhaustion, and the OBV had started to go up above previous structure, like say on this line here. If that OBV had just broken that point, I'm like, well, the volume's kicking in. Then I would be like, bam, that's a great trade. I'm into it. So they're normally things I try to look for, is wicks to the downside, bullish engulfing, RSI is oversold, it's on a support line. I can check Muji as well, Muji indicators, because Muji indicators, I'll show you real quick, it's on this one. If I went to TRX here, so when I was down on the hourly, so also I could have checked here, and as soon as that went to a bull on the hourly, I'm like, well, that's another confirmation I'm in, because see how perfect that goes. As soon as that bull comes up, this Muji indicator is ridiculous. It almost always has enough time, at least you can get into the trade, and when it creates a bear, you can get out. So it's pretty good confirmation. So that's like all the things in my trade plan at the moment. I could have got, my first take profit, but lesson learned. Obviously anything to do with money and trading is emotional, so it's something we've got to overcome. But yeah, hope that's good for you, because it's definitely a good lesson for me.